Leadership is willing to take a risk and to help others find their potential to be as successful as possible.
Being courageous. So taking some leaps. Frequently, leadership involves moving into spaces that weren't occupied before and see if you can bring some people along with you.
People have to trust the leader, and that's the only way you become a leader. If people trust you, and they trust you if you've been honest and have a lot of integrity.
If you treat other people like you want to be treated, you have no difficulties when you're in a leadership role.
Leadership to me is really about leading peers, being that person that can help people realize their dreams.
Engages others in the process and has a passion and vision and brings everyone else along in the process.
Really be the one to consider all those ideas to make sure that plans can move forward.
Someone that takes that opportunity, sees that opportunity, evaluates it, and then puts in place steps to make it happen.
The most important thing about leadership is to understand that it's a real privilege. The leader has to move individuals from just getting the job done to putting everything into getting the job done.
This is the beginning of the Things You Need to Know About.com management series. Let's get started with what is it? Management takes place within an organization or structure. Note that at the very top of the structure is management, under which everything falls. Also note that leadership is the foundation of the structure. The upward pointing arrows indicate that it permeates throughout the organization. Now, within the organization or structure, the manager allocates resources: human, financial, physical, and informational, using the functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. An example of planning might be creating a budget, which would then become a major control mechanism. Organizing could be the structuring of human resources into an organization chart. Leading might be influencing others to achieve organizational goals created in the planning function. And an example of controlling would be comparing budget with actual figures and taking corrective action if necessary. Please note how the interlocking circles are drawn around each function, showing the interrelationships and the dependencies upon each other. Now, performing these functions most efficiently and effectively creates a competitive advantage, which leads to achieving organizational goals. So in summary, management takes place within an organization or structure and is positioned at the top under which everything falls, whereas leadership is the foundation upon which an organization is built. Then, within the organization or structure, managers allocate resources: human, financial, physical, and informational, using the functions of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling to most efficiently and effectively achieve organizational goals.
This is a story of 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. I bet this sounds familiar. You've probably played one of the characters. For leaders, accountability starts with looking in the mirror. Being accountable is our ticket to earning the right to hold other people accountable. But in order to do that, we first have to understand what accountability is. Accountability is accepting the responsibility for the outcomes expected of us, both the good and the bad. Anyone who absolves himself of responsibility cannot effectively lead others. It starts and ends with I. I will do this. I am responsible. I will take ownership, etc. You get the point. Once we get into the habit of taking accountability and saying I first, it will provide the ability to create a culture of accountability. However, demonstrating accountability yourself isn't always enough to help someone else be accountable. As leaders, we often need to hold others responsible. In order to do this, we need to do 4 simple things. The first is we have to establish expectations. Here's what's expected of you. Second, we have to gain commitment for that's what's expected of them. Are you on board with this expectation? Third, we have to inspect what you expect. I'll review what you do. And number 4, we need to provide feedback and consequences. Here's some feedback for what you did, or because you didn't live up to your commitment, here are the consequences. Accountability, above all else, is not merely the means of keeping one honest and in check. Remember the story about everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody, and make it your mission to never put yourself or your team in that position.